have a dead termite. Deep indented marks remain as the cause of death, and the termite's insides have been softened. There also appears to be a sticky slime-like substance all over the body.
This is definitely the work of a small animal from the phylum Animalia, but we need to submit the DNA evidence to the lab and in the meantime do our own research about each animal. Let's call in the profilers.
All right, let me show you guys what we have so far. After much research and investigation, our team has concluded that the unsub of interest is from the phylum Onychopora, more commonly known as the velvet worm. Here's what we know. This phyla has been around for up to 500 million years, and its evolutionary history is quite puzzling, as early fossils have been found that are spread across vast geographic regions. The unsub likely lives primarily on land, as suggested by the location of the crime. From this, we are able to narrow down the search, as they are not of mollusca, cnidaria, porifera, or chordate phyla. Onychopora are mainly found in Australia, which is consistent with a string of other termite murders happening across the Australian continent. Additionally, these worms live comfortably under leaf litter, which is where a victim was found. The unsub is likely a close relative of Arthropoda. However, the slime-like substance found on the body suggests a different phyla. Conveniently, velvet worms use a glue-like slime to capture prey and in self-defense. The fate of the blastopore in this individual is likely protostomic. They'll have a trachea for respiration and exhibit bilateral symmetry. They will have 3 embryonic tissues, cephalization, and a eucoelomate body cavity. An open circulatory system will be exhibited along with a hydrostatic skeleton. This unsub is unsegmented and has jointed appendages. Based on the complexity of this crime, they'll have a developed nervous system with both a brain and a nerve cord. Based on the location of the crime, this unsub will also use crawling for locomotion. Common food groups for this phyla include woodlice, spiders, and last and most commonly, our victim, termites. Additionally, velvet worms undergo sexual reproduction and have 7 stages of embryonic development. With all of these factors in mind, we were able to conclude that the unsub is Onychopora, or the velvet worm. Our team constructed 2 phylogenetic trees, as well as found one that had been previously studied in order to support this data. The most consistent hypothesis for Onchiophorine evolution lies in the location of a 12S ribosomal RNA sequence studied by Ballard et al. In 1992. Parsimony analysis of this study suggests that Arthropoda belong to a monophyletic group that includes Onchiophorians. This is supported by the 16S RNA sequence tree shown on screen, which places arthropods as the closest ancestor to the phyla. Additionally, the genus of Onychopora, Eperipatus, was found to be most closely related to Arthropoda in this next tree, from a study by Roding et al. In 2007. This study examined DNA sequences from the genus and suggests a close relationship to Arthropoda, although the exact relationship is unknown. Lastly, these details contradict the third and final tree, which suggests mollusca as the closest common relative to Onychopora. This can be explained due to the Linnaean taxonomy used to construct the final tree. The first 16S RNA tree constructed was closer to literature and likely more accurate due to the use of molecular phylogenetics, which use homologous traits and actual DNA versus observable features. In conclusion, the life history of an unsub is incredibly important in order to determine their future crime patterns.
Thank you for your insight. I'll alert our rainforest unit immediately that there's a termite murder on the loose.
And that's all for today. Oh, wait, we actually got some breaking news. Over to you, John. Thanks, Carrie. Breaking news, a suspect has been apprehended in the murder of a local termite. Introducing the accused, Miss Peaches Onychopora, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Onychopora. Judge, do not be fooled by this worm's gentle appearance. Behind that cuddly exterior lies a voracious carnivore.
Judge, I'd like to argue that my client squirted slime as an act of self-defense. Velvet worms are also known to use slime to give them time to escape. My client was threatened by this termite.
Objection! If you had done your research, you would have known that termites, woodlice, and small spiders are velvet worm's favorite snack. Do I need to remind you that the victim here is a termite?
That evidence is purely circumstantial, not to mention biased. Just because my client is a carnivore and the victim is a herbivore does not mean that my client is guilty.
If your client was threatened, then how do you explain the bite taken out of the victim?
Order in the court. You're sentenced to 6 years in jail.
But that's life.
Exactly.
You get too close. I love the most, and I think it's time for you to go. Make it so hard. You know I've gone too far, and I think it's time for you to go. You're so unsure. You're so afraid. Don't tell me to listen when you don't got shit to say.